Imagine being a young girl thousands of years ago. There are no health classes, no phone to search for answers, no pharmacy shelves filled with products, no quiet conversation online telling you that what is happening is normal. Then one day, your body changes. You see blood for the first time, and suddenly you have entered a part of life that every human society has known, but history almost never bothered to record. So how did ancient women handle their first period? The honest answer is more mysterious than most people expect. We do not know exactly what happened to every girl in the ancient world. There are no diaries from most prehistoric communities, no instruction manuals left behind by ordinary mothers, no ancient photographs of the private spaces where women taught daughters what to do. History preserved the words of kings, soldiers, priests, philosophers, and rulers. But it rarely preserved the quiet moments between women. The advice given, the cloth handed over, the warning whispered, the reassurance offered. And because of that, the first period in the ancient world remains one of history's hidden chapters. But scattered clues still survive. In old medical texts, in religious rules, in myths, in archaeological discoveries, and in the things that ancient people chose to fear, celebrate, or keep secret. For ancient girls, the first period was not simply a biological event, it was often a social event, a moment when childhood began moving toward adulthood. In many societies, puberty changed what was expected of a girl. She might begin learning new household responsibilities. Her family might start thinking about marriage. Older women may have given practical advice about hygiene, fertility, pain, privacy, and cultural rules. But there was no single ancient experience. A girl in ancient Egypt did not necessarily live like a girl in Greece. A girl in Rome did not necessarily live like a girl in a farming village, a desert community, a forest settlement, or a nomadic group moving with animals. Some may have been surrounded by family. Others may have felt confused or frightened. Some cultures treated menstruation as powerful. Others treated it as dangerous. Some created rituals around it. Others may have barely spoken about it at all. That is the first hidden truth. Ancient women did not all handle periods in the same way. They handled them through the knowledge of their own people, and much of that knowledge was passed down without writing. Think about how practical wisdom travels. A mother teaches a daughter, an aunt teaches a niece, an older sister explains what happened to her. A friend quietly shares something no man in the household knows. That kind of knowledge can survive for generations without appearing in official history. It does not need a book, it only needs people. And in a world without modern menstrual products, practical solutions likely mattered immediately. Ancient women probably used whatever materials were available, absorbent, soft enough, and easy to replace or wash. Cloth, plant fibers, wool, grass, leather, hides, or other local materials may have been used in different places and periods. But historians must be careful here. Most of these materials decay. They rot in the ground. They disappear. And because menstruation was private, people rarely wrote down every detail of how it was managed. That means archaeology gives us only fragments. A scrap of fabric cannot tell us exactly how it was used. A piece of linen cannot reveal the conversation that came with it. The strongest evidence may not be an object at all. It may be silence. A silence that tells us this was considered ordinary enough not to explain, or private enough not to discuss. But ancient societies did talk about menstruation in another way. They talked about what they believed it meant. And their beliefs could be strange. In ancient Greece and Rome, many male writers viewed the body through ideas that would sound deeply wrong today. They believed menstruation was connected to balance, health, heat, fertility, and the mysterious workings of the female body. Some writers treated menstrual blood as a sign of life-giving power. Others described it with fear. Some linked it to agriculture, pregnancy, illness, or the moon. These ideas were not scientific in the modern sense, but they shaped how people understood women, and that could affect how a young girl understood herself when her period first arrived. Imagine hearing that your body contains a power people do not fully understand, that it can create life, that it is connected to the cycles of nature, but also hearing that people fear it, that some rules suddenly apply to you, that certain places, foods, activities, or ceremonies are no longer open to you at the same time of every month. For some ancient girls, the first period may have brought attention. For others, it may have brought isolation. Across many cultures, menstruation has sometimes been connected to separation or seclusion. A person might be asked to rest apart from others, avoid certain tasks, or follow rules tied to spiritual beliefs. From a modern perspective, that can sound unfair or restrictive, and sometimes it was. But it could also have had another meaning. In a hard physical world, temporary separation might have offered rest. It could create a space where women shared knowledge with one another. It could mark a transition that the entire community recognized. The same ritual could be experienced as protection by one person and exclusion by another. That is why ancient history is never simple. The past was not one world. It was millions of lives. And then there is the question no one asks enough. What did ancient girls feel? Fear, embarrassment, pride, confusion, relief after wondering why their body was changing? We cannot know for sure. But we know they were human. They had the same ability to worry, hope, and imagine as people do now. A first period may have felt unexpected. It may have arrived during work, travel, sleep, gathering food, or sitting beside a fire. It may have been explained by someone kind, or it may have been met with silence. But one thing is certain, it was never just a private biological event. It was connected to survival. In ancient societies, growing older changed a person's place in the group. Puberty meant the body was entering a new stage. Families saw it. Communities noticed it. Expectations shifted. And for women, that shift could be powerful. Menstruation meant the body was capable of something extraordinary. Not immediately, not automatically, but capable. The ability to carry future generations, to keep a family line alive, to become part of the long human chain that reached backward into the past and forward into the future. That is why menstruation has always carried so much meaning. It sits at the meeting point of biology, culture, fear, family, survival, and identity. Today, many people have access to medical information, products, privacy, and language that ancient women never had. But something has not changed. A first period is still a moment when a young person needs knowledge. They need calm. They need honesty. They need someone to tell them that their body is not broken, strange, or shameful. And maybe that is the deepest connection between ancient women and people today. Across thousands of years, in homes, caves, villages, cities, and shelters, one generation has always had to explain the mystery of the body to the next. History may have forgotten most of those conversations, but they happened, quietly, privately, and they helped shape the lives of countless women whose names we will never know. Which fact surprised you the most? If you enjoy uncovering nature's hidden secrets, don't forget to subscribe.